Giraffe versus Ostrich, height versus speed. In the Savannah Standoff, one tower above danger. 18 feet of silent awareness, gliding through the savannah like a moving watchtower. The giraffe doesn't run from fear, it sees it before it arrives. The other doesn't wait for threats, it outruns them, a blur of feathers and fury, slashing the earth at 60 miles per hour. The ostrich may not fly, but it knows how to vanish or fight. This isn't predator versus prey. This is posture versus power, elevation versus eruption. Both are survivors. Creatures forged by Africa's unforgiving sun and tooth-lined shadows. But in a clearing where there's no brush to hide behind, no pack to protect them, what happens? When the tallest animal alive faces off against the fastest one on land, who yields? Who strikes? Let's find out who commands the wild. On one side of the savannah stands a living tower. The giraffe, nature's tallest sentinel, with legs longer than most humans are tall, and a neck that brushes tree canopies. It surveys the plains from an unmatched vantage point. At over 16 to 18 feet in height and weighing up to 3,000 pounds, the giraffe is not just a browser of treetops, it's a silent guardian. Calm in motion, graceful in stride, but when cornered, its hooves can shatter bone and end threats with a single devastating kick. Facing it is the unlikely challenger, the ostrich, the earthbound comet of the African wild. Towering up to 9 feet and weighing over 250 pounds, the ostrich is the largest bird alive and the fastest animal on 2 legs. Its stride covers up to 16 feet per step, but speed is only part of its arsenal. With dagger-like claws on its powerful legs, an ostrich kick can disembowel predators, from hyenas to lions. The giraffe sees first. The ostrich moves first. One has the reach of a crane, the other, the explosive power of a sprinter with a weaponized foot. This isn't a contest of claws and fangs. It's a showdown of size, reach, and anatomical extremes. The giraffe is designed for vertical dominance. Its heart alone weighs over 25 pounds. Pumping blood to the brain high above ground. But it's not just a tall grazer. Those massive hooves can slam down with over 2,000 pounds of force. A direct hit can kill a lion or hyena instantly, though not aggressive. Giraffes defend their calves and themselves with terrifying precision. The ostrich, on the other hand, is a sprinter and a striker. It trades mass for motion. At full speed, it covers over 15 feet per stride, zigzagging like a missile on legs, and its feet, clawed with raptor-like talons capable of slicing open muscle and organs in a single kick. Its legs are pure fury, muscle-tuned for explosive recoil. The giraffe stands still, waiting for a threat. The ostrich closes distance, or escapes it. The giraffe uses reach, weight, and devastating timing. The ostrich relies on angle, speed, and strike precision. 1. Tower 1 strikes. Both are biological masterpieces. Evolved not to chase, but to finish a fight when survival demands it. Nature didn't give the giraffe or the ostrich sharp teeth or venom. Instead, it gave them highly specialized, highly lethal weapons, forged over millions of years to deal with Africa's deadliest predators. The giraffe's primary weapon is its kick, a downward strike delivered with frightening speed and unimaginable force. When threatened, especially by lions, giraffes don't flee. They turn, brace, and fire off a back or side kick that can crush skulls and snap spines. The hooves themselves are the size of dinner plates, edged with thick keratin that turns each strike into a bone-breaking impact. Male giraffes use their long, muscular necks as battle axes during dominance fights, swinging their heads like hammers. In brutal contests known as necking, these duels can fracture ribs, bruise organs, and even knock opponents unconscious. Its power is delivered through reach, a whip-like motion powered by nearly a ton of mass. The ostrich, though smaller, is no less terrifying up close. Its weapon of choice, the forward kick, a motion that combines precision and momentum. An ostrich can launch both legs, or strike one at a time, using its 2-toed foot to deliver a knife-like slash with its 4-inch claw. These claws have been known to open up large wounds, disembowel predators, and shatter rib cages. Unlike the giraffe, which fights in place, the ostrich fights while moving, using a series of pivots, lunges, and bursts to stay mobile while delivering devastating hits. It doesn't need to overpower its opponent. It only needs one clean shot. So who has the deadlier weapon? The giraffe, brute force, high ground reach, and crushing power. The ostrich, razor-sharp precision, mobility, and timing. In the wild, intelligence isn't about solving puzzles, it's about surviving chaos. And both the giraffe and the ostrich have mastered that art in radically different ways. The giraffe survives by seeing first and reacting second. With a vantage point 18 feet high, it becomes an early warning system not just for its own kind, but for other herbivores nearby. A flick of its ear, a sudden turn of the head, can signal danger long before a predator strikes. Giraffes don't panic, they calculate. Their instinct is to assess, shift position, and only fight when the odds demand it. Their intelligence is spatial, calm, and observational. They move as if the entire savannah is a chessboard. The ostrich, in contrast, lives in constant motion, and thinks at high speed. With the largest eyes of any land animal, it sees clearly for over 2 miles. When it detects movement, it doesn't freeze, it acts. Whether it's a feint to draw danger away from its nest, or a sudden pivot to blindside a hyena, the ostrich is a master of split-second decision-making, and when escape is not an option, it attacks with ruthless efficiency. The ostrich survives, not because it overpowers threats, but because it reads them faster than they can react. So what happens when these survival instincts clash? The giraffe will hold ground, trusting its vision, its size, its strike. The ostrich will test, dodge, and disrupt, trusting timing and pressure. 2 different minds, 2 different instincts. Both are wired to live, but in a fight where survival is the goal, only one will read the moment better. Both the giraffe and the ostrich are native icons of the African savanna, but they move through it like 2 completely different species of warrior. The giraffe roams in loose herds, drifting across open plains and scattered woodlands in search of acacia, leaves, and water. With long strides and towering height, it rarely needs to rush. Instead, it flows with confidence, a quiet sentinel whose mere presence warns predators that it sees them long before they strike. Its gait is elegant, but when threatened, it can sprint at over 30 miles per hour, legs cutting massive arcs into the ground. The ostrich, meanwhile, thrives in motion. It doesn't just live in the savanna, it owns the road. Built for distance and bursts of speed, the ostrich is a windstorm on legs, darting between bushes, outpacing most threats with blinding acceleration. And when it needs to fight, it never stays still for long. Now, imagine a showdown in neutral terrain, flat earth, dry scrub, low visibility. The giraffe stands tall, trying to track the blur below. The ostrich stays low, watching for an opening. In the wild, survival isn't hypothetical, it's tested daily, and both the giraffe and the ostrich have left predators bleeding, limping, or worse. Giraffes, though calm by nature, are among the most feared herbivores by African predators. Lions, the apex threat, often require 3 or more members to bring down a single adult giraffe, and even then, it's a gamble. Giraffes have been documented kicking lions to death. One well-placed strike to the skull or jaw, and it's over. Their kicks are delivered with such suddenness and precision that they even shatter the bones of hyenas and wild dogs. The ostrich, on the other hand, doesn't wait to be surrounded. When a cheetah or hyena closes in, the ostrich spins, kicks forward, and strikes the midsection with surgical precision. Cheetahs have been gutted, jackals knocked unconscious, and even leopards have backed off after a single violent encounter. Its defense strategy is motion-based, disorienting, then disabled. Even in captivity, ostriches have injured zookeepers and wardens with unexpected bursts of aggression. They don't bluff, they act. So what does this tell us? Neither animal folds. Easily, the giraffe dominates when the opponent comes close. The ostrich survives by making sure the opponent never gets a clean shot, and when the moment turns fatal, both can deliver it. The savanna is quiet, no herds, no predators, just dry grass swaying in the wind and heat waves rising off cracked earth. In the center of it all, 2 legends face each other, not by chance, but by challenge. The giraffe stands tall, its head rising like a watchtower above the plain. Ears flick, legs planted. It doesn't move, it doesn't blink. Across from it, the ostrich paces in a tight arc, feathers flaring, eyes unblinking. It bobs its head, testing angles, gauging distance. It knows it can't outmatch the giraffe's strength, but it doesn't need to. It only needs one chance. The standoff breaks. The ostrich darts in, a blur of motion, circling wide. Dust kicks up behind it. The giraffe swings its long neck like a pendulum, tracking the runner below. A front leg lifts, ready to strike. The giraffe reacts. With terrifying speed, it steps back and fires a downward kick. The ground trembles. The ostrich misses the strike by inches, nearly loses balance, but recovers. It backs off, watching, calculating. Round 2. This time, the ostrich doesn't charge head-on. It moves in a zigzag, forcing the giraffe to pivot. Shift, realign. The giraffe swings its leg again, closer this time, but not enough. The ostrich launches. The claw slices into the giraffe's lower leg, leaving a shallow gash, not fatal, but distracting. The giraffe stumbles for just a moment, and that's the window. The ostrich spins, goes low, and aims for the abdomen, but the giraffe, even injured, isn't finished. It rears back and stomps. 2 warriors, 2 survivors. One built to tower, the other built to vanish. Who wins? That depends on which moment you freeze. If the ostrich had struck deeper, game over. If the giraffe had landed its first kick, the fight was done. The giraffe brings mass, reach, and power, an unmovable giant with a strike that can crush bone. Its calm demeanor hides an inner storm. When pushed, it becomes a wrecking force. Few animals can survive. The ostrich is speed embodied, reflexes like lightning, strikes like daggers, and a mind wired for chaos. It doesn't overpower, it outmaneuvers, it doesn't roar, it reacts. So, who wins? If the fight is long, the giraffe grinds it down with strength and endurance. If the ostrich lands early, speed and precision decide the battle. But in the savanna, Fights aren't won by strength alone, or by speed alone. They're won by who adapts faster, who reads the moment, who refuses to fall. There's no crown at the end, no slow-motion victory lap, just breathe, dust, and the sound of one heartbeat continuing. That's survival, that's nature, and sometimes, that's the only victory that matters. Who takes the crown, the towering titan, or the lightning-fast striker? Drop your verdict in the comments. Hashtag Team Giraffe for raw power and unstoppable kicks. Hashtag Team Ostrich for speed, strategy, and razor-sharp precision like this battle. If it surprised you, subscribe for more